I always knew I wanted children. I'd used to, as a teenager, work in an after-school club, and I loved being around children. And for me, it felt almost the reason I was here. I knew I had to be a mum. There was no other way. I had to be somehow. So we started trying for a baby as soon as we were married. I was 25 when we started trying, and I was 34 when I had Adam. Looking back, if I could go back and be 25 again at the start of our fertility journey, I think one of the main things I'd do differently is to ask for help sooner. I think I certainly felt that it was our fault, we were doing something wrong, and therefore didn't want to go to the doctors, didn't want to be told anything awful. It just felt too big, too scary. So as I say, we tried for a long time by ourselves, and the effort of trying and that continuous cycle of getting your hopes up and failure and having to pick yourself up again and try again was really beginning to wear us down, and we realised that it wasn't going to work. My first contact with Bourn Hall was actually a phone call before we even come into the place, and I remember feeling flooded with relief because we'd had quite a lot of treatment with the hospital, lots of different tests and other ways to try and boost our chances of falling pregnant, none of which worked. And at times it felt almost as if it was our fault we weren't getting pregnant and that we were being a nuisance. So from the very first phone call I had just with the receptionist, it was just a completely different experience. She was warm, friendly, engaging, had time, understood, was sympathetic, and I instantly felt as if my hand was being held through the whole process and as if people genuinely cared whether we had a good outcome or not. When I fell pregnant with Adam, it was the first positive pregnancy test I'd ever had in all of those years of trying, and so after so many failures it felt too good to be true. If I could go back, I would also probably talk to family and friends sooner. I think the people who are closest to you probably know anyway that there's something, not right with you, and so my advice to anyone else would be probably to trust the people closest to you if you can. Because they can support and encourage you on the days where you feel where you're all out of hope. The other thing I would suggest is to perhaps stay off some of the online searches. Whilst a lot of the online forums and support boards can be incredibly helpful for people to give them some sort of support network, they can also be quite difficult places, I think, and you absorb their pain and disappointment, I think. So whilst I think they can help some people, I think you have to approach those with a little bit of caution, really. One thing I'd like to say about Bourn Hall Colchester is that the staff who have been amazing all the way through, every single person that we met was kind and understanding, and we just had so much support and love from the place, and we've stayed in touch since.